Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live stream. We are going across Facebook. We are going across YouTube, Twitch. I am seeing your comments, bro. Feel free to chime in.
Let's hear it all.
I am here with the great Ethan Carter III. EC3.
Uncle, thank you. Uncle Vince, thanks for having me. I'm also live here on my Instagram.
Nice.
The kids call it the IG, I believe. So I won't pay attention to you. My focus is on Vince, the Vince Russo brand, the 3 brand, and the loaded questions that will come from this live.
Yes, and we are live, and you guys are starting to come in, and you guys are starting to throw some comments at me. The only thing I ask you is, bro, be respectful. Don't be. I don't care.
I can handle anything.
You know, bro, I want to ask you this because we've never really handled this on the show. Everybody knows, you know, me and EC3. You know, we do a show on my Patreon. Right. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. Brand.
Let me tell the Instagram people because maybe they don't know because my shit's always throttled. Yes, every Wednesday I have a show with Uncle Vince Russo on his Patreon. So at Vince is the Vince Russo?
No, Patreon.com/Russo TWC.
I will type that, or one of my fans will. So
yes,
yeah, we do that. But we have deep dives: psychology of life, psychology of wrestling, psychology of sports. Like we really have a great banter and a rapport. And like I said, that show, the day you offered me to do a show with you was the day I woke up. I woke up and said, no matter what comes today, I'm going to say yes. That was the first thing I thought of. Vince Russo pops up in your inbox. Hey, man, I want to do a show with my brand. I'm like, well, yes.
Yes, and I am very, very happy that you said yes. Bro, I want to deep dive into something first before we get into everything. Control your narrative. Okay. Because you are a man now running your own company. So you are going to be studying facts. You are going to be studying logic. What makes sense, what doesn't make sense. Okay, bro, we've got a little sampling now of what this Raw looks like under Triple H.
And I haven't watched it yet, but I bet it's good. Or it's getting better. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you what it is, bro, because I put out a tweet yesterday, and of course everybody went bonkers.
Bananas.
The tweet I put out, bro, was basically this. Wrestling the way we knew it is now officially over. Because when the number one company is now catering to a very small niche market, just like AEW is, to get the wrestling that we grew up on and the wrestling that we all loved and enjoyed, those days are over. Because basically what Triple H has done this, what he's basically done is this, bro. He was running NXT. Vince McMahon comes in, cleans it out, fires everybody, fires the people working on the show, fires the talent. He has a new presentation of NXT. Mm-hmm. Well, we all know what happened with Vince McMahon. So now him and Vince change places once again. So what has Hunter done? He has hired everybody back that Vince fired.
Everybody?
A good majority. Not everybody, bro. Not everybody. But a good majority of the people. And he has just put them on Raw. They're all on Raw now. So basically, Raw has become Triple H's NXT version. And the problem I have with that, because I look at everything from a numbers point of view, I look at everything logically, bro, first of all, NXT was never meant to be a television show. You know that. It was meant to be a developmental program. All of a sudden, they're negotiating with USA Network. Next thing you know, we're going to sell them the rights to this TV show, which it was never meant to be. Then they go head-to-head with AEW.
Yeah.
That didn't work out, so they pulled it off the same night as AEW went on a different night. Bro, 1/3 of the people that watch Raw, 1/3 watch NXT. Okay. Those are the real numbers. Out of that Raw audience, 1/3 of those people watch NXT. So my point is, from a business point of view, more customers, bro, that is the name of the game. You could call it ratings, you could call it viewers, you can call it eyeballs. I call it customers.
Yeah.
With more customers being the name of the game, I don't think you're going to achieve that by making Raw NXT. That's my opinion. I laid that out with facts. Of course, the WWE faithful went absolutely ballistic. Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, just a counterpoint, because I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but for a guy like Paul Trips, a lot of the people he brought back were people he valued very highly and invested a lot of time in, a lot of TV time, which means if you're investing TV time, you're investing money, and he invested money. And Lord knows 94% of the people that got called up from NXT that were Triple H projects didn't fare well in the main roster run for probably one giant reason that no longer exists. And we talked about that before, like the constant struggle. Like, why would you make things bad on purpose just to prove a point to somebody when it's your business? But we can't get into the mind of a megalomaniac. But what we can say, Triple H invested in these people. He has faith in them. He brought them back. Is it necessarily he's going back to NXT and, cater to the niche market? Or is he seeing how his ideas could have played out in real time with the more mainstream audience of Raw?
Let me ask you this, bro, with the facts that I laid out.
Yeah.
Would you have, you are now running your own company, bro, control your narrative. With the numbers that you had, and bro, numbers don't lie, would you have made that same decision? And bro, let me also remind you, he's bringing on people from NXT over, no introduction, no vignettes. The casual viewers have no idea who these people are. I'm asking you, how would you have done it?
Yeah, I do agree with that, because if you are introducing to a new audience that, like you mentioned, the 1/3 audience of NXT, people on Raw that see Raw and Raw alone won't know who they are without vignettes and proper character introduction. When we're talking numbers too, we're 3 weeks into what could be a long-term plan, a 6-month plan, a year-long plan. Trips has a lot of foresight and a lot of vision towards the future. So we've talked about this often too, that maybe sometimes we need to take that step back to build bigger, better into the future. And maybe the faith he had in investing in those talents is why he's throwing it out there now to see, yeah, maybe it might take a slight hit to the casuals, but they will come back when we're bringing them compelling, entertaining characters in television. So the numbers are on your side in this moment, but you don't know what's going to happen. So maybe he's taking a shot at his vision.
But also, son,
yes,
there's a saying out there.
There is.
You have one first impression. When Johnny Gargano appears in the ring, right. I have no idea who he is. He could be the greatest wrestler on this planet. I've never seen him wrestle. I don't know who he is. He's talking about changing his baby's diapers. Bro, that's the first impression you want?
No, not I. And then, yeah, it's expecting people to know who he is. Now, Johnny, first off, is supposed to show up to leg day at the dump tomorrow. So if this gets back to him, Johnny Gargano has to go to the cement dump for legs tomorrow morning. If he doesn't, he's a coward. I've said it. Put in the headlines.
So what do
EC3.
you tell me? Johnny's your
EC3
boy,
calls
bro. So
Johnny Gargano.
Johnny's your boy, so I can't say nothing
No,
about Johnny. What?
no,
Bro,
no,
you trying to silence your uncle?
No, you can say anything you want about anybody. I'm just saying that I want the headlines to say EC3 calls Johnny Gargano a coward if he
There
doesn't
you
show
go. Okay, I like it. Well, just say that. Just say, listen, I want. Yeah, okay, I got you. Go ahead.
But to not counterpoint, to agree with you, yes, a vast majority don't know who he is, and he's been gone for a while. If you're going to give me a heartfelt promo about being a father and changing diapers, I had this idea for a character for so long that he's like Mr. Mom, and he's a father, and his most important job is raising his children. But like he has these wild vignettes where he's training to wrestle too, and I need to provide for him. He's sprinting with the stroller. He's like baby curling, like baby items. Doing chin ups, but he's got the two kids on his back, and like Mr. Mom, I think it would be huge.
Could he be curling the act? Could he be curling the actual baby?
He could. Why not?
Okay, I like that. I like that. I'm in.
But you are right. Yeah, if nobody knows, then this just kind of falls on deaf ears. So perhaps a balance of introduction of who they are and why we should care would be a great first step.
I think you had a great introduction into TNA. I remember. I think that was a great. We knew off the bat who you were, and bro, you had heat the minute you came out.
Yeah, I ad-libbed the line. There better be lions. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a vignette, and I'm forming my own, video crew to film my own vignette, and then the last thing I say is there better be lions. Then I'm in front of a green screen, but shit's blowing up and there's all this craziness going on. And I had like 2 Great Danes instead because apparently we couldn't get lions for a green screen. I think that's funny.
Potts is saying even Whitney knows EC3's entrance music. You see that, bro? Whitney knows your entrance music.
Hey, Whitney, how are you?
Bro, I want to ask you a question.
I'd love to. Now, you're not like, I thought we had a really good discussion and, point to counterpoint. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's right. Opinions differ. And rarely do we fully differ on opinion. And I don't think we differ too much in the opinion now. It's nice to provide a counterpoint.
I just don't think, I agree with you. Everything is cool. I just don't think, bro, at the end of the day, we should assume that people know who all these people are, because I'm telling you, I don't.
One thing I tell up and coming sports entertainers and people within CYN and even people that are on TV at fairly high levels, more often than not, this is the first time somebody has ever seen you. So you almost have to remind everybody who you are constantly and forever until you're ingrained into their soul and their mind.
Right.
So even being over and having, a great career and a great NXT run and being a known name in the wrestling world like Johnny, remember, not everybody knows. A lot don't. And it doesn't hurt, man, because it doesn't hurt to have yourself a little reboot every now and then where you get to kind of start from scratch with something that already works and then make your kinks to it. It's like making a good superhero movie instead of a bad one, Like the Fantastic Four, it sucked, and then they rebooted it, and it sucked worse. But there's other times it worked out well.
Bro, some punk is putting over the T-shirt you're wearing, huge. He loves the color. He wants to purchase one. Where does he get that T-shirt, bro?
ControlYourNarrative.com. Now the maroon shirt isn't in stock, so I'd love him to send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll take care of them because these have to be special ordered. So, but if
he loves that, you love that. That is a nice color, bro.
It rules. I'll send you one day. I never send them shit.
I won't hold my breath. All right, listen, EC3.
Yes.
I want to get to the seedling. You're in NXT, that doesn't work out. You go to TNA, that works out huge. You go back to NXT, it was a little bit more the same old. You go to Raw, where I remember watching you that night, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like, but here's what I'm asking you. So you're going through this journey. How, when, why, and where does this idea of control your narrative pop into your head? Because I know you, bro. You are a stickler for detail, and I know you know the exact moment when those wheels were spinning and you said, you know what? It's time to step out of the comfort zone. Walk me through that, bro.
The idea, but not the term and the concept behind it, but the idea of like creating a platform for wrestlers to be their reality, because they're so much more interesting as people than the characters sometimes are forced to play. And like, how can you incorporate these amazing human beings who've been through so much to get to where they are? They've all had different journeys, but then they come to TV and, you know, it's cookie cutter fucking bullshit nonsense half the time. And they're not extensions of themselves anymore, which, as you know, makes the greatest wrestling personalities, is when you're an extension of yourself, turn that shit up to 10. When it happened as an idea that like I would pursue it, it was just being off injured with a really bad concussion during the WWE run that I tried to kind of work through because I was worried I'd lose my spot. But instead, I lost my mind. So, you know, one day at TV, I showed up and I was fish white and just completely out of it because I've been working banged up for a while. Doctor kind of catches me, asks me if I'm okay. And I was just like, no. Then kind of told him the story, the symptoms, sat home, had this long form concussion that took a lot to get through. And it took a lot with a sports psychologist and a physical therapist for the brain. So like I was working on that for a long time, but there was a lot of alone time, a lot of dark times contemplating life, future, career, everything, because all I can do is rehab. And with a concussion too, you can't do much. You can't watch TV. You can't focus and read. It's very difficult to do anything but just sit there and, you know, wallow in your own misery. And having wallowed in that misery, I remember when I went back to WWE the first time, conversing with friends and people in the locker room, how disheartened they were because the quote is, nothing matters. And I'm like, I will never have that mentality. I will go there and I will bust ass and I will work hard and I'll do what's necessary. I'll politic. I'll do everything I possibly can because I never want to have that mindset. And as we talk about the Raw debut, 2 weeks later, nothing mattered. And I was right there with them. And control your narrative, tell your story. It's really about, you know, self-reliance and accountability for your own actions and your own reactions to what happens to you. You are in control of everything, not everything that happens to you, but how you react to anything that does. And I was not reacting well. So just making that change and going through like a self-audit, self-reflection, talking to my partner within Control Your Narrative, the narrator, JC, we were talking and he was talking about something completely different, but he said, yeah, you know, just control your narrative. And then I was just like, kind of, that would look good on a shirt. But that just kind of became our motto and our lifestyle. Then, you know, before I'm released, I get cleared from this injury and I'm getting, you know, slaps on the back from creative, like, we can't wait to do this. We have all these great ideas for you. You know, usually they like to, you know, feed you a lot of good food and fatten you up before they fucking slaughter you. So I'm like, really? Oh, that's cool. Obviously, none of them happened. There was a Raw during a pandemic where I was called back to TV and I had the one thing I wanted, the one thing I needed. And in that moment, you know, I had no intentions of, if I'm giving the chance to talk, if I am given a promo, I don't care what happens. I don't care at all. They can fire me on the spot, but I'm going to say what I want to say. And I'm going to cut that fucking scathing, dirty, you know, but truthful promo that really, you know, derives emotions. Does it make TV? You know, you never know. Do I get fired immediately? You never know. Do I get, this guy's pretty good. Maybe we can do something with him. You don't know. But what I did know, nothing was working before. So show up to TV, shave my head before I go in there. And I had this little musty mustache going. So just have a different look. And I have the opportunity. You have a promo today. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And this is a taped Raw during a pandemic. And I'm standing in the back. The match was nothing. I didn't care about the match. The match was get someone else over. That's fine. Didn't care one bit about the match because I had the promo, and that's all that matters. And right before I walk out, no promo. I'm like, And then and the match never even made TV, but seeing it, like I could feel how I looked in my face and just like that. I'm done. No matter, I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't care what. I'm fucking done. Do the match. It's over. Camera's cut, but I'm just sitting there on the floor, and I'm like, I will never allow myself to feel like this again. I would rather fucking die than feel the way I feel now.
Because you literally had no control of your narrative, literally.
And then, a couple weeks later, pandemic kicks up. So what's the first thing they do? Fire people. I mean, I get it. It's a business. But it wasn't a firing where I was like, oh, I can't believe it. Or I'm so mad. Like the first time I was like, I'm coming back for fucking scalps. Just watch. This time I was like, that needed to happen. Thank you. I'm very, and then starting to create this project while there's, no guaranteed future about wrestling or even the world at the time, but like crafting promos, crafting the idea, using control your narrative, a gray wall and one camera as a way to,
Bro, hold on. Before you start going into the early steps, I think this is very important because, bro, there's a ton of people listening to you now, and a lot of people are commenting. Bro, we all have great ideas. If only I could do this. If only I could do that. And bro, it usually ends there. I want you before you started getting into it, yeah. Bro, give me the steps now of turning that idea into reality, because I think that's where a lot of people fall short. Great idea. They don't do anything about it. What drove you to bring this to life?
Everything mentioned prior drove me. Everything that happened in life that we all go through, every struggle, heartbreak, loss, regret, pain, suffering, agony, all of that went into it. But for anybody that doesn't, the one thing you have to do, and once you do this one thing, the rest will take care of itself, because once you commit and realize there's no going back, you're in. So like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. It was just taking that first step. It was the decision in the moment to never feel like that again. It was the release, and it was the next day writing what this is and what it could be and filming it. And how can I do this? Well, the world's on fire. Nobody's paying attention to wrestling truly, but I have 90 days to create something that I can either take to another company, which I did too, or do something with on my own, seeing what the landscape is. Or what I really did, take what I've created to another company to use it as a platform and a paycheck to fund and operate what I truly want to do. And that's create something within wrestling that is the platform for people to tell their story.
Yeah, bro, it's funny because it's a lot of people at that point would have just said F it and quit the business.
You know how easy, I'll tell you, because we're live, pal. Like, I started down the path. Hair's gone, goatee's in. I'm kind of this esoteric psychopath, kind of badass, COVID anti-hero in a sense. And there was an opportunity. A call came in. Hey, we want to bring you in as the top 1%. Do you have rights to the TNA music? And I'm like, I can't go back now. Like,
yeah.
Why reality is one thing too, but even if a person who's a fan, who's followed my career, who knows anything about this story and what happened, I can't act like nothing happened. I can't act like there's a pandemic and I lose my job in it and I have a shit fucking run when I have all the potential in the world to be like on top. I can't go back to being, hey, I'm a rich guy again. Here's my Ferrari. And where are the Lions? This time I got them for real. So I turned down that offer, knowing it probably would have led to a really good deal that would eventually have a real strong run. It would get to one point. And then like everybody in that thing, it kind of just falls out and everybody's in the middle kind of hanging out.
because you can't control your narrative.
Right. Yeah. Well, someone else is controlling them. And anybody that thinks there's creative freedom in any of these companies is fucking lying to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, bro, I want to talk about this because I think this is extremely important. Not because not only is he a presence, but I think what's more important is his belief in you. Bro, one of the people that go in WWE, Adam Scherr, Braun Strowman. And the next thing I know, Braun Strowman is a part of Control Your Narrative, which spoke volumes to me because he was in a prominent spot in a prominent company, and now he's hitching on with you, which tells me he must have a belief in this thing blowing up. Tell me about that relationship and how that came to be.
Yeah, I mean, everything that happened within CYN, with every talent, every person that produces, everybody involved, there is some serendipitous synchronicity story behind it where it just falls into place. So we're partners on other things. We're friends in real life. He came to us. He wanted to shoot something like a movie role audition. Shoots that, and then we start talking about control your narrative, and like he saw the first feature we did, Free the Narrative, one on Pro Wrestling TV, and just how he was like, I was so inspired you guys went out and did that. I think it's so cool. It's the first wrestling thing I was able to watch start from finish. When it was over, I couldn't stop thinking about what can I do if I had that chance and how I can do it one day. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, this, WWE, a couple years, maybe I can come do it. Next day, he was released, and it was just like, wow, that was unexpected. But then it was time to do the second one because we had to capitalize on him when he's coming back from that to be kind of the first thing he did. But he had certain belief in the project and probably my, creative insanity and the fact we were cool as hell. But he really helped build a foundation and get us the notoriety. Like what we were doing was niche and kind of under the radar and not really talked about. You add a top level star, high level name immediately, you're getting the buzz, you're getting notoriety. Then you're walking into things you didn't expect so soon, like streaming television deal and the possibility of this live tour. Like, so that opened a lot of doors, and everybody from the top, like Adam, to the very bottom, has belief in the idea and the idea of being able to freely pursue who they want to be as a character, but more importantly as a person. So it's self-help as much as wrestling.
Bro, a couple things. I'm going to put you on the spot here because I know this is what you do best.
Yeah.
Potts, here's what he said. We know EC3. So every word you say makes us want to come to a show in Chicago. Sell me. You have the chance to take our money willingly. I said it before. Bring me to your show. Go.
I will bring you to my show. I'll bring everybody to my show because the show is for everybody. Everybody that has had their hopes and dreams dashed. Everybody that has had people stab them in the back or run away or get rid of them or, betray them, break their heart. This show is for everybody that's been fired. This show is for everybody that's been down. This show is for everybody that's come this close to doing something they shouldn't to themselves, because every person that's involved in this project has been in those shoes. Like, we have sat in your seat. We know these feelings. These feelings aren't just for, they're not just for you. Everybody has these things, these issues, these problems, these demons. And the only way to combat them is to find unity in self, being an individual, but being a part of something bigger, and everybody contributing to making something stand out, be great. Come to my yeah, I'll take your money. Come to the show. Yes, there'll be great wrestling. Yes, there'll be cool promos. Yes, there'll be surprises. I'm not a carnival barker, man. I'm a fucking facilitator. And what I do is facilitate the reality of very interesting and very special people that deserve the platform. here's what I think should happen, but I'm hands off. I want to see what you guys do with it. And if I could be that helpful guide and sort of an oracle, I'm no booker man. I don't have a pencil. I just facilitate the ability for people to tell their stories. And they might be good. I hope they're great, but they might suck too.
Bro, David Bentz has a good question, and I want to throw this at you. Do you look at Control Your Narrative as the island of misfit toys proving people wrong?
I very much look at it as Moneyball. So I'm glad to use that quote, but this definitely is Moneyball, because what we are is we are completely independent. We are self-financed mostly by what I've built thus far. So I am Billy Bean, and I'm handsome like Brad Pitt. And sometimes I need my catcher to play first base. But every person involved, like, where is their opportunity going to come from? Often wrestlers ask me, what do I have to do to get to the next level? And I'm like, well, besides an independent and short of a developmental deal or contract with AEW or Impact, I mean, what is exactly the next level? What's feeding the future of the industry? What's creating people that are comfortable in who they are and comfortable in the ring that can, work standard matches, can work, different styles, can work comfortably, who can excel at what they do well and not feel necessary or the toxic group think of, fucking the work rate culture to do what they think they have to do. What do they do well? What can they excel at doing? Putting them in a position to succeed is, I think, the biggest and most important part. So I don't understand why, you have a guy that's 6 months in the business, former soldier, he's 6'3", he's jacked, his story is very intriguing. He's not ready for primetime or TV, but he's going to have it in his mind that I have to go out there and I have to wrestle this certain way to appease this certain crowd. When you don't, you do what you do best and you just throw people around, and you can have a great match in 5 minutes and you can have a shit match in 20 minutes with near falls, falsies, dives, ref bumps. Like, a great match is when a fan is emotionally invested in the outcome and reacts accordingly.
Bro, I want to tell you this, because I think it's not even that young guy who's not ready. I was just talking to him about this, bro, because I think this is a great story for Control Your Narrative. Okay, bro, I've known Stevie Richards for a very long time. So I wanted to set Stevie up. I wanted to do a show with Stevie 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was. Stevie wanted to do a show with me, but he said to me, he goes, Vince, I need to introduce you to my friend. I want him to be part of this. You will absolutely love him. Guy's name is Ben Hameen, who we both know very well. Yeah. Bro, I got to tell you something. When Stevie hooked me up with Ben Hameen, this guy knows the business, understands the business, knows the psychology better than 90% of the people I ever worked with. Bro, he just turned 45 years old.
You're kidding.
And is still waiting. And you know what I said to him? I said, I'm going to tell you something. I told him this a couple of days ago. But can I tell you something? I'm going to go public with this, EC3. I don't even think you know this. This is how highly I think of the mind of Ben Hameen. Bro, do you know 2 years ago, March, I made a deal. I was consulting for the USA Network, bro. I was watching Raw every single week and sending them my notes and sending them my suggestions for 2 years. Nobody knew it, bro. My point is, the first thing I did was I asked Ben and Stevie to help me, because I didn't want USA just getting my ideas. I wanted them to get ideas from a worker and a guy who I know has the brain of a genius. So I said to Ben, I said, you know what I want you to do? I want you to write your story for my friend EC3. And I want you to shoot, and I want you to tell him how a 45-year-old man who's smarter than 90% of the people in the business has yet to get a break. So, bro, we're really talking about two ends of the spectrum here in this case. It could be the young guy. You and I have talked about Anthony Contino, who the brand knows through this show. And it could be a 45-year-old man who has all the gifts and the talent in the world and is probably being bypassed because people are afraid of him. You know how the wrestling business works. So that is what Control Your Narrative is all about. Am I right or wrong?
That's certainly like this platform, and we've talked about it before, and he totally gets it and provides such great insight. He's so intellectual and smart. Like this platform, I would build as much for myself as I would Anthony or Ben, you know? And I think I had this concept in mind too. A lot of times if I'm doing initiative seminars, you know, check those out. And you get the, you know, guy, you know, he's over 40, he's wants to do it. And you ask him, hey man, like, what's your end goal? He's like, well, you know, I want to make it to the big leagues. I'm like, of course. But like, what's your realistic end goal? So
right.
What do you mean? I'm like, well, dude, you're 43. You have 3 kids. I mean, the amount of time it would take for you to get signed, brought up to speed through the system, the right opportunity, you might be 48. Like, so anything could happen. And I'm not going to say don't pursue it. Don't live your dream. Don't go for it. But really, in reality, what is your realistic goal? And that usually brings them down. And it's usually like, man, I just want my kids to see me in a match, like with a bunch of people there, and they're proud of me. I'm like, that's something we can do. I can facilitate that. And would you trade the one great realistic moment that you want for, you know, a continued indie run and pursue a dream that's probably more than likely unattainable? And more often than not, they choose like, I would happily be done if I can have that moment. So I'm like, well, let's get there.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. That's all. Now, bro, you and I talk about this many times, bro. You're open to looking for ideas of matches and tournaments and from literally the fan. You have told me I want you to ask the brand matches they've never seen before, what they'd like to see. You are that open, bro?
I am that open because like we're in such a fucking wild time in the world and wrestling, you know, with not so many exclusives and not so many guarantees and quote forbidden doors. Shut up. That there's opportunities, especially hell, if it's under my roof, fuck yeah. But like, what are matches you think you would never see that can realistically happen? And like one that popped in my mind was when Adam and Buff Bagwell got into like a weird Twitter spat. I'm like, what is going on? What are you guys doing? And I'm like, but then I went, light bulb, dude, Buff Bagwell versus Braun Strowman. I never thought I'd see that. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, anything that's realistic that could happen. So it's not like, oh, I wish, you know, so-and-so can come back from the grave and wrestle, you know, this young up-and-comer that does the same move. No, like I'm talking realistically, I'm open to fans' interpretations because I've seen some great ideas. And like, what could we realistically do make sense? Like Stevie Richards is a great example. Like I had this faction in mind in CYN, and they're called NDA, right? Like non-disclosure agreement, but whatever the acronym is we think of. And, you know, it's right to censor-ish, but not really. And then what if they're making a run and they're kind of the homage to that right to censor thing, but then, you know, you hear the siren come out and there's Stevie coming out with, you know, tie on, does his deal. Like that could be cool. So what's a realistic match you thought you could never see that very well could happen because we're free and we're independent and we can make shit happen?
Yeah. Bro, how about David Bentz looking over the CYN rules
Oh yeah,
Rule number 6, the
Yep.
fight isn't with your opponent, it's with yourself. Is that basically saying all matches are facing inner demons?
I actually tonight will launch. I do my little weekly narrative doctrine, and I re-upped on rule number 6. Oh man, just give me 1 second, y'all. Just give me a second.
I
So what
like Mr. Bentz looking into the rules, Brian. Very, very, very impressed by that. Very impressed.
could you imagine if I was prepared? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed by you
All right,
having.
rule 6. Here's what I wrote about it. Okay. God, this game. The fight is not with your opponent, it is with yourself. So that was the rule. But then, I explained it. To control your narrative is to tell your story. This isn't some overly philosophical way of saying you are an individual. No matter what happens to you, it's your responsibility for how you act and react. Everything you want is within you. The way to self-actualization is to battle what holds you back the most, yourself. So yeah, the fight's never over. The fight's not over till you win, is the way I look at it. But yeah, the fight is with yourself at all times.
Well, we are our own worst enemies, aren't we? We are, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Without a shadow of a doubt, bro, right? We're the ones holding ourselves back, right?
100%. I have so many fucking demons, I can't even count them anymore. But I've gotten rid of a lot of them, too. So.
All right, now here we are, bro. They could see the product on Pro Wrestling TV.
Yep.
But the tour, bro, the tour is this isn't 2 dates. This is a tour. Last I checked, I think it was 24 cities. Tell everybody about this tour. What are we doing, bro?
Yeah, well, we partnered with the group, the Hello Group. That's kind of like a Live Nation. They wanted to get into wrestling. We kind of fell into the spot where we have a brand identity, and it's kind of national, but we actually, just started. So we have a very small infrastructure. So this is the all-consuming demon of my days, putting things together. What made, a couple light bulbs go off in my head is the fact that creating this platform, yeah, like I have guys that believe, and I'll do anything for them. They'll do anything for the platform. But how many people out there need just that opportunity? What's next? I don't know, but I created it. So like creating a platform where I go to Texas and there's a bunch of Texas standouts. There's a bunch of people that deserve a shot through Texas. They get to be seen on TV. They get that notoriety. They could therefore take that ball and they could fucking score a touchdown, or they can fumble it. It's on them. But at least these people ask, all I want's a chance, all I want's an opportunity. Well, let's create something that gives that. So, we start in Texas, we go to New Orleans, we have dates in the mid-Atlantic, we have dates in Florida, we have dates in the Northeast, we have dates in the Midwest. It's absolute chaos. But I decided to allow, short of wrestling and wrestlers, there's other brands and there's other people behind the scenes that deserve opportunity too. Like, who's a great photographer, who does great video editing, who's a great ring announcer, who's a great official. We can find them through this initiative, and quote, unite the brands, as I like to say, is kind of partnering with a local independent within the town. And, it's not to exploit their fan base and their guys. We're like, yeah, you could work with CYN and, your guys get the first match. It goes 5 minutes. And then I need one guy to lose to this guy. And I need one guy to lose to that guy. Like, no, I want to put these talents that deserve opportunities in the mix with some of the, the biggest names in wrestling, because you never thought you'd see that. So
this is real, bro. You're really talking about grassroots. You're not talking about my father's got $1 billion. You're talking about grassroots.
My father doesn't. He's a bartender.
Yeah. Bro, a lot of people are screaming for Tennessee. We got anything happening in Tennessee?
I'm trying to add something to Tennessee. It might be Knoxville. And just because it might not be on this exact tour, we are coming to Tennessee for sure. Tennessee rules. And I'll actually be in Nashville for NWA. So you can fucking catch me outside there. I'm probably going to take it over. The thing is, yeah, unite the brands. Like NWA, Billy Corgan, we're very like-minded, and we're very, Pisces weird and esoteric and deep thinkers. But his platform and what he did with the NWA and what he wants to create, we're kind of yin and yang, but at the same time, we have parallel visions of how we see the future. And I think you and him would actually have a great talk about, where the industry seems to be going and where it should go and
Bro,
what's.
I was just in touch with him yesterday. How about that?
Oh, Uncle
How
B.
about that? I didn't even I didn't even know you two were
Yeah,
connected.
I'm close. I'm close with
That's
all the
awesome.
smart guys,
Yes, absolutely.
But
Yes.
yeah, like go do a little bit with NWA, kind of like it's so fucking cliche if I say, oh, CYN's gonna invade NWA and take over. Like, what are we taking over? The fucking ring?
I love yeah, exactly.
We're
Yeah.
not taking shit over, but we can bring our message, we can bring our, talent, we can bring our idea of what we see the future is, and we can awaken.
And you
We
could bring your opportunity. You could bring your opportunity.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fucking narcissist. I do, I'm EC3. I'm a 2-time world heavyweight champion. I do want a third. I can't retire without having a third championship. 10 pounds of gold. The nostalgia, man. I'd really love to hold that title. That title is such prestige, such lineage, such stories behind it, and just look at it covered in blood, sweat, tears, and then throw it into a fucking barrel fire. Because let's get over the nostalgia in the past. It's over. We're so lost in the past. Nobody can move forward anymore. Like,
well, I don't know about listen, bro. I don't know about moving forward because Adam paid $4.99 to ask this question.
What? Adam?
Will CYN? I love the way that they're calling it CYN already. I love that. Yeah. Will CYN hire Vince McMahon for creative lead now that he's a free agent? What will you give him the opportunity? Would you offer him the opportunity, bro?
100. There's not one person, and people loathe me, and I'm disgusted with some people. There is nobody, well, short of any like sex offenders and racists, but there's nobody in this industry I would not entertain figuring out.
Would you ask him to send a resume?
I know his work pretty, well. I would be curious to send it. I would actually maybe make a questionnaire for him about, things that happen in the real world. Like when Jericho wrote in his book, he asked him how much a gallon of milk was. And
me too. Yeah. He didn't know what a loaf of bread cost.
See, and like question 7, what is a meme? And he'd be like, a meme.
He turned 77 today.
Happy birthday, Uncle Vince. You're my Uncle Vince.
Okay, so bro, when's the tour start? Where's the tour start? Where do they get tickets? Give them some of the dates. Go ahead, bro. Give them this.
Sell note. ControlYourNarrative.com/tour. We start this son of a bitch in San Antonio, Texas. That's 10/13. From there, we go to Austin, Texas, 10/14. Houston, 10/15. Dallas, Fort Worth, 10/16. We got a few days off. Or where are we at? Mardi Gras, baby, because it's New Orleans. And that's
wow.
10/22. That's just a one-off. I kind of wanted to add something in Tennessee there. We'll see what happens. From there, time's ticking. I'm already so fucking busy. Anyways, from there, where do we go? Charlotte, I think it's 10/28. I think we rock Roanoke, Virginia, 10/29. I think we have a little day. 10/28 is Virginia. 10/27 Charlotte. My bad. Baltimore, 10/30. Probably going to partner with MCW. I think they're doing a fantastic job. From there, where are we going to go? I think Florida. Yeah, I think it's 11-2 in Tampa. I think we go to Orlando. I think we're up in. we're down in West Palm Beach, and we go up to Jacksonville. I missed something because we go to Brooklyn, we go to New Jersey, we go to Reading, and we go to Philly. And I want to talk to Stevie Richards about Philadelphia, so make sure we get that number. Yeah, then we're in Florida. Then there's like a holiday. I think it's called Thanksgiving, and some shit will pop off there, maybe somewhere. Who knows? Then we're going up to Green Bay in the winter. What a bad idea. Then, partnering with Blizzard Brawl the next day, and that's in say Milwaukee. From there, Chicago. And what do I want to do in Chicago? Well, it's Billy Corgan's hometown, so I'm probably going to challenge him to some crazy shit. Boom. End the tour. Where the fuck do we end it? Indianapolis, Minneapolis, and Des Moines, Iowa. Because, of course, why would you not end this tour in Des Moines, Iowa?
That's
ControlYourNarrative.com/tour.
Now tell them too, bro, because they're asking about the merch. And you do have great merch. I always put your merch over when we do the show. Tell them where they can get the merch, bro.
ControlYourNarrative.com, free EC3.com. One goes in my business, one goes in my pocket. Either way, I win. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always dishing off, merch, especially this shirt. Tell brother to hit me up about this shirt because I don't have a bunch, but I'd gladly get him one if he loves it that much because I think it's nice. And it's a Toltex 241, so it's soft style. It's real comfortable.
Now, what if they legitimately want to hit you up with ideas? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I mean, like my IG DMs are always crowded. I want to put something on the website. There's actually a not used forum on the website. Like I think I had the guy just put some sort of forum on there. So I would go to that, and I think there's a wrestling section. I don't think anybody's posted on it. I've not drawn any attention to it because I have too much going on. But that'd be a great place for ideas. Hit me on the comments on my Instagram. I'd read them out loud. Try the DMs. I mean, I'm very curious to see what people think. And I like a lot of people, asking, how can I contribute creatively? Like, well, I mean, I don't have a big round table to sit you in, and you're Vince here's on Zoom, and I'm at the head of the table falling asleep, looking at my phone like the other Vince would, and a bunch of writers are scribbling fucking notes and fucking pitching ideas, and they're all great. And then he goes, "What the fuck is this shit?" And then he's just like, "Where's what we're doing?" And he draws a fucking dick on the whiteboard and fucking pounds out and bounces.
Now, bro, what about you talked a little bit. I don't know if you want to get into this now because it's still in the planning stage. You talked about seminars. People looking to get. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Inspiring independent professional wrestlers and sports entertainers. I'm getting inundated. Like I get a lot. Yesterday I was on a Twitter space with Gabe from Evolve, and there was this young lady talking about, she's coming back. How do I get booked? I have this resume. And Gabe was like, yeah, you can just send that resume to everybody. But I get resumes via email, and this isn't disrespectful at all, but I'm like, I don't know any of this. Like, this is fucking hieroglyphics. I don't know what we're talking about. Like, so short of grabbing my attention with some outrageous email headline or some crazy comment or some crazy way to slide in or a body of work, here's me in a minute. Asshole. You say that to me, I'll be like, well, let's see what you got for a minute. And then I either like it or I don't. But the way into CYN, it has to go through our initiative seminars, and we're probably going to run those before shows on the tour. Some of them will be mega seminars where like Texas might be one seminar, and then, 40, 50 people go there. Not only that, but I'm kind of planning on shooting, the cream of the crop that day, making a 1-hour show out of it and like having them go, do your deal. Win this match, you're in. Lose this match, you're out. But, gear, entrance, music, cameras, a light, sparse crowd, but filming it, content is king, and people will watch that. And that's an opportunity that, if it doesn't make it TV, it's going to be, viral videos and shit like that. So seminars will be before shows. Those will be on the website. I'm behind on announcing when I want to do them because I have no help, but that's okay. But also, too, if you're an aspiring independent pro wrestler, a lot of times you're going to go to a seminar from a name, an old timer. And I've been there, and, you pay your $50 or whatever, and it's just a waste of money. Like they'll run you through some drills and they'll talk to you and they'll say, hey, good job. Every seminar we've done with CYN, whether it's myself, Aries involved, Adam involved, some of our talent, chiming in, have become full-scale bonding experiences where literal tears have been shed by grown men because short of, hey, what's your wrestling promo? Well, this has been my dream. Boring. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? 5 minutes later, the dude's bawling his eyes out. 6 minutes later, he's smiling. 7 minutes later, we got to something within him that we now pitched. Well, what about this as an idea and a character? Do a promo on the fly. 10 fucking times out of 10, it's way better because it's real. And it's in the moment, and it's not planned and thought about and overanalyzed and overcritiqued and fucking status quo bullshit. Done. Sick of that. Don't even tell me about your dream. I don't care. We all have them. Dreams are nightmares. Don't care.
God, it's just I hate to say that, I hate to end it this way, bro, but that was the exact promo Gargano cut, bro.
The dream one.
The I had a dream, and I was sitting there saying the same thing. Forget about that, bro. Last time, hit them with, because they always remember the last thing. Where are they going for tickets?
ControlYourNarrative.com/tour. 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 Download the Pro Wrestling TV app. Our content's coming out. We got a banger show we've co-branded with AML. Drops Sunday, I believe. ControlYourNarrative.com/tour. Pro Wrestling TV. It's available on Fire Stick, Apples, all those downloadable things. It's streaming. It's 2022. You know more about it than me. ControlYourNarrative.com/tour for tickets. Don't forget NWA 74. This Saturday, I am showing up in the Nostalgia Wrestling Alliance, and I'm not coming alone because I'm bringing my demons, I'm bringing my past, I'm bringing my full fucking throttle heart to rip the heart out of nostalgia in wrestling. So that's kind of the mission statement. And then by the end of it, I'll probably be champion. And like I said,
is that on Fight, bro? Is that on Fight? Can they see that on Fight?
Yes. So
Fight TV. Wow, you got it all. Bro, I swear to God, sometimes I look at you, and as you're talking to me, I'm waiting for your head to explode because I don't know how you fit all these ideas in. I really don't, bro. I don't know.
A lot of them leave too, So.
And also, guys, please check us out every single week, bro. The 3 brand. We talk about this. You see a company form and grow in the making. Just go to patreon.com/RussoTWC. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, like definitely. I very much enjoy our chats, and they're always enlightening. And yes, I woke up that day saying I'll say yes to anything, but I would have said yes regardless, because how else can I learn the intricacies of this aspect of the industry unless I have a guide and an oracle myself and, a mentor in a way, for better or worse. No, I'm kidding. But like somebody that's been through it. This isn't a fucking college course you can take. Pro Wrestling Creative, it's based on feeling and gut and numbers and logic. It's such an interesting process, and just having the opportunity to pick that brain, get in there, get rid of that idea. That was a weird one, Vince. What do you think? But this one's good, and this one's good. So I honor you greatly.
I just did a whole show today because I was talking about, you always hear, back in my day, everything was better in my day. But what I spoke about was, wait a minute, things were better before my day. I remember as a child in the 60s, things were better then. And here's what I pointed to. And this is why I think you and I are on the same page, and we're together. We do the show. I think things in the past were better, and they're getting worse and worse. You know why, bro? Because back then it was quality over quantity. It was quality over quantity. And that's what I hear about your promotion and the way you're handling this. This isn't about 18 hours of television a week and just creating content. No, bro, this is quality, bro.
And it's a double-edged sword too, with how we have to do this with that in mind, with content being king in a sense too. So quality over quantity is definitely a thing, but within quantity, you can find quality if you find the right people that can deliver. And if you're a great leader, that means you trust the people you put in those places and you let them do what they do best. And I think that's really, like, this shit is not hard. And that's just one of the many things I wish about other places I've worked, is just like give me, I know, and often I'm not always right, and I never was always right too. So there were times where I thought I was, and then somebody who was like, and then they were right, and I'm like, but I learned. And so, yeah. Quality is within quantity.
Yes. Yeah.
Boom!
All right, guys, there you have it, man. More. I eat up the wisdom of EC3. More wisdom of EC3. Control your narrative.
EC3.com/tour.
/tour.
/tour.
I always want to say /tickets, but it's /tour. That will give you all the dates. That will tell you how you can get your tickets. Guys, eat them up, man, and stay tuned to our show. You'll get updates every week. That is it, everybody. For me and the great EC3, thanks for joining us.
Dynamite.